Welcome to NFL News Update, where touchdowns meet headlines. Stay in the game with the freshest NFL updates. This is your quick dive into football fervor.
The Commanders are officially starting a new era with Dan Quinn, and soon a fresh start at the quarterback position. Speaking with NFL Network insider Tom Pelissero at the annual league meeting on Saturday, Quinn discussed the possibility of Washington selecting a QB with the no. 2 overall pick in the 2024 NFL Draft or later in April's event. "I would say, to be fair to Envision, we'd be taking a quarterback," Quinn said. "To say where it'll be happening, I think that's a better question for general manager Adam Peters. As the next weeks unfold, there'll be a lot of discussion, and that's why we've had a great trip out seeing some guys. We'll do that some more in the weeks ahead. But I've enjoyed that process with Adam and going through it. He's somebody that is an absolute expert at this position, what it looks like, where to go, and so going through that process has been really cool." As Quinn collaborates with Peters for April's draft, they'll first have to wait and see what the Bears decide to do with the no. 1 overall pick. After the Bears traded Justin Fields to the Steelers, the way seems clear for USC prospect Caleb Williams to go to Chicago. What happens after that pick remains murkier. Will it be LSU QB Jaden Daniels, North Carolina's Drake May, or someone else? As they continue to evaluate, Quinn says there's still work to do on who the Commanders will select if they decide to stick at no. 2 overall. "I still have a lot of work to do into that space," he said. "Adam's way further ahead from going through it, but we really dug in hard on our own team and then the free agent process. And now as we're getting finalized and on the draft side of things, we still have more visits, people to come in, it's been more time. So I'd say we're getting closer, but to say we're there yet, not yet." Peters, a first-year general manager, heads into his first NFL draft after a busy month in March. Peters added QB Marcus Mariota, running back Austin Eckler, tight end Zach Ertz, linebacker Bobby Wagner, and safety Jeremy Chinn in free agency. With 2023 starter Sam Howell traded to Seattle, Mariota and Jake Fromm currently fill the QB room in Washington. Thanks to the Commanders holding a premium pick at no. 2, Quinn says the phone is ringing and Peters is answering all the calls if a team wants to talk about trading up in the draft, although it'd take a lot. "Yes, I would say it's ringing, and because, like you said, of the talent of the group this year," Quinn said. "And so I would anticipate him fielding these calls as it goes through, and usually it's not necessarily later than no. 6 or 7. But those people who are usually in the top 4 or 5, there's somebody that somebody has targeted, and I think it's mostly like, well, I've got to take a shot. A lot of times it's no, like, thanks for calling, but it is part of the process, and you have to do your due diligence to listen and to find out just to make sure. Like, is there something that you just couldn't refuse? I certainly walked past it in the hallway when I was with the Cowboys years ago for a trade that involved Herschel Walker and many draft picks and changed a lot of their organization. So I think anybody in personnel with the skills of Adam, they're going to listen, but there's only so many things that you consider, and it better be really good." The Seahawks are in uncharted waters, working through the 2024 offseason with a new head coach for the first time since 2010. Having spent the last month and a half settling into his role amid the chaos of free agency and draft preparation, new Seattle head coach Mike Macdonald has taken his task of leading the transition into a new era of Seahawks football in stride, even if it's been new territory for him. "I think it's going well. Obviously, there's no manual for this type of responsibility," he said in an interview with NFL Network insider Tom Pelissero at the annual league meeting on Saturday. "We have a plan in place, but you're just trying to do your best day by day and stack days. And now we look back 5 or 6 weeks, I feel like we've made a lot of progress. But there's just so much work still to do." With change naturally comes comparison to the before, and Macdonald has spoken at length about following Pete Carroll, who helmed the Seahawks for 14 years and won a Super Bowl in Seattle before parting ways with the organization after the 2023 season. Knowing that he's taking over for a coach that had such success is just another motivation for Macdonald, though as he said that he recognizes the importance forging his own path as a leader, finding what defines his teams, and how to produce sustained success as a franchise. Carroll's such an integral part of building this foundation of who the Seahawks are, and that's one of the reasons why it was so appealing for this opportunity. "So it's hard to separate those things," Macdonald said. "However, like I said in my press conference, the only person that's unique to me is me. So that's the person I'm going to be. I have my way of seeing things and what I believe in, and a lot of that is aligned with what he believes in, from what I understand. However, this team needs to take on its own identity, just like any team, any year, and I'm the one to lead that charge. So it'll be in our vision, and we'll move forward. So what does define the 2024 Seahawks? According to McDonald, the players on this year's squad all embody a deep want to prove themselves, a characteristic which their new head coach both values and shares. I think we're hungry. I think we're a determined group. I think we have a lot of people on our team, both players and coaches, that have a lot to prove, he said. And I'm excited about that. So it starts now, definitely starts April 8 when the guys get in the building and we can kind of start getting after it. No man might represent that approach better than McDonald's new quarterback, Geno Smith, who has defined what it means to fight for himself over his career and through his 2 resurgent years as the Seattle signal caller. That resonates with a lot of our stories, having gone through a lot of trials and tribulations and finding his stride here in the last few years, McDonald said. And then going against him, obviously his track record the last couple years and the stats he's been able to put up, his poise, his leadership, obviously his capability throwing the football, and our relationship is just getting started to grow. There's still months ahead before McDonald officially takes the field as a head coach in a game for the first time and a few weeks before his team will even start off-season workouts. But he's already forging a distinct identity for his team that he believes will take them just as far as any on-field work. We're building a cohesive, together unit, so schematically, all that stuff, it's important, but it's not what's going to win us games, McDonald said. We're going to be a united team, confident and ready to roll.